snow removal, it's at that point the sanitation workers are the heroes of the city. You'd be surprised. Absenteeism goes down. Yes, they make a little overtime. Let's not kid ourselves. But they like to do that. It's something different. When you go out every day and pick up garbage all day long, you get it done, fine. But when you go out there to address snow and clear the streets, the morale actually builds up, especially when they get credit in the newspaper for doing it. It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes you get a storm in a city that you can't clean it as quick as you cleaned the last storm. And in New York City, New York is whatever you did last, you got to do better than that tomorrow. That's New York. And there's nothing wrong with that attitude. I mean, you look at that at work too. What you do today, let's see if we can do it better tomorrow. And if we bring the high-tech people in, what you made today, we want it smaller, better, and faster.
When you're in training in sanitation, the supervisors and the teachers will tell you that when it snows, sanitation owns you. And you have absolutely no idea what that means until the snow arrives. And then suddenly, you're on a 12-hour shift for 7 days, for weeks. When the December 2010 storm hit, I know workers who were on the job for 7 days, for 12-hour days, for 38 days straight, for 41 days straight. After Hurricane Sandy, it was the same thing. The department has to step into the breach. The department is the one charged with snow removal. For disaster response, it's less overt. The city doesn't assume sanitation is the one that steps forward first, but in fact, sanitation, with Sandy, sanitation was the first agency on the ground and the last agency to leave. So, when you first come on, you have absolutely no idea. You have no idea. What is that? They own you. What does that mean? And then it's 12-hour days and 7-day weeks and endless. And they call it blood money. There is this sort of energy when it first snows of like, oh, overtime. And after a week or two, the energy is definitely, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Some people who live far away will actually just sleep in their cars until there's a little bit of a respite and they can make the commute home. Yeah.
Just an interesting point on getting rid of snow. I can remember, I think it was a storm in '86, and we used to dump a lot of snow in the rivers out of here in Manhattan and different waterfronts, even in Staten Island, places in Brooklyn and Queens. We would dump snow in the rivers and the waterways. And I remember after that storm being out at one of our disposal points where we were dumping it in on the west side of Manhattan, and I seen the Coast Guard over there with video cameras. I said to the guys, we're not going to be dumping it in the river much longer, I tell you that. Because I knew something. There was a fear that there was debris in it coming up when you cleaned it all up, was going into the water. There was also a concern by some people that there was salt in it because we salted the roadways. I used to say, well, the rivers around here have salt in them already, but fine. But, the thing, we had to go out. What are we going to do? We bought melters. We bought huge snow melters that we can position around the city so that we can get rid of it today. And we have to work with DEP over there to make sure we got it right over the right sewer so that the water will be able to flow, or else it'll be backing up in somebody's basement if we pick the wrong one. So we work with them, and I think they're going to start painting the sewer caps, so we know in certain areas which is a safe sewer for us to use when we set one of our melters up. So you can see how things have to evolve in the department. That's the behind the scenes. People don't know, how do you get rid of it? That's one of in my day, we used to open up a sewer and shovel it in, and then we closed the sewer.
Well, one of the other things people don't know about snow, among the many things they don't know about the job, no storm is like any other storm. You think, oh, there's snow. They've dealt with it before. They'll deal with it today. It's the same. Nuh-uh. Every storm has its own personality, its own unique configuration. It's heavier in the Bronx and it's not so heavy in Staten Island. And then the next time it buries Staten Island, barely touches the Bronx. It comes in wet, then it gets dry. It comes in dry and solid and freezing, then it turns to rain. It was cold ahead of time, so it stays on the ground forever. It was 30 degrees ahead of time and it melts the next day and it's a mess. Every storm is its own adventure. And to say, well, they've always done it and so they always can do it, that's true. But they always must figure out with each storm what's necessary, because it is never a cookie cutter response from one to the next.